It's the Oh Yeah Wrestling Podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You like that big voice guy there?
I do like that, man. That's some good stuff.
That means you're official.
Yeah.
When somebody's reading off the name of your podcast in big voice style.
Big voice.
Usually it's like me. Like, I have to be the one to do it for people, and now we got our own guy.
Well, we got a huge podcast here, Brad.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we got big voice guys. We've got an official studio here. We got signs hanging up that tell us for the Oh Yeah Wrestling Podcast. We are official.
In case you might have forgot where you are when we're sitting here doing it.
Yeah.
There's a sign now, which is official. That's the thing. We have an official SoundCloud page.
We do.
Where you can go, and it's the Oh Yeah Wrestling Podcast. And so check us out. We're also probably going to build a Facebook page
Absolutely.
here pretty soon. That's just me having 20 other projects going on. But we'll get one built, and if you come and visit our Facebook pages, you know, we've been sharing that SoundCloud clip, the video, and all that. It's not video like where you see our beautiful faces, but it's a picture, and then you can listen basically right from the Facebook page. And, you know, we're just a couple of guys who basically watch every Raw, SmackDown, every pay-per-view.
Man, we're fans. That's what we are.
Yeah.
And we like to give our opinions, right? Man, we are WWE fans, wrestling fans. We want to give our opinions. And at the end of the day, we hope we entertain you just a little bit.
That's the idea. Maybe make you laugh or even make you cry.
Oh, man, I've cried some.
Your wife was crying while we were recording last week.
She was.
Not due to any fault of our own, I guess.
No, our
That's
podcast is great.
That's good. Well, you want to get into what's been happening this week?
We need to, because it's been a big week on Raw. I mean, we're ramping up to the road to WrestleMania. We're on the road to WrestleMania. We're 2 or 3 weeks away from it, man, and this is no better way to kick us off this week than the top 3 stories. Kick us off, Brad. Let's make it happen.
It's the top 3 Raw stories.
Yeah, top 3. So this was a big week.
It was.
And this episode of Raw, man, there was a lot of stuff. So we'll start at number 3. Last week, we saw Braun Strowman. He defeated tag team champion.
Whole entire. No, he defeated.
No. You're right. He did. It was like a battle royale.
It was and he beat them all.
He beat them all. He gets to fight the tag team champions.
He does
now.
at WrestleMania, but he's got to find a partner. That's the caveat.
That's the thing. He's got to find a partner. Any ideas on who his partner might be?
Well, you know, as I was pondering what would happen there, Kane did make an appearance on Raw that we'll talk about later. I mean, what about that?
I kind of see that happening.
Yeah.
I kind of see that happening. So they would have to kind of partner up and make up, basically, because we saw them doing a lot of heinous things to each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is off topic a little bit, but didn't Braun Strowman and didn't Team Little Big lose?
They did this week on the Mixed Match Challenge.
Asuka.
Yeah.
Asuka.
Asuka and The Miz.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It is
I'm
crazy.
guessing, should we spoil this? I mean, I didn't get to see it yet, but I'm guessing we've already said who won or lost. But did Asuka pin Bliss? Because I don't see The Miz pinning Strowman.
No, Asuka did the pin. But, tell you the truth, Alexa went after The Miz a little bit. A little baseball slide drop kick out of the rope and got The Miz and knocked him down.
Yeah.
But, one of the big things on Instagram and Facebook this week was the chemistry between Braun Strowman and Alexa Bliss. They're
trying to make them
that was
like
fun.
It's a little couple. It's funny. But, that little – when she does the Twisted Bliss off of his shoulders.
That's cool, man.
That is cool.
Yeah.
I like seeing that. But you think maybe Braun Strowman and Kane? That'd be an interesting matchup.
Well, it would be. You never know what we're going to get as this story unfolds, because not only that, there's a bunch of guys in the locker room, Brad, that they want to be on that part of WrestleMania. They're going to be kind of courting Braun, so to speak, saying, hey, man, this is WrestleMania. I can help you do this. I can help you do that. They're going to want to be on the card for WrestleMania. They're going to want to do that. So you never know.
Right. That's interesting stuff. And that kind of ties us into number 2 on our top 3 Raw stories this week. Cena.
John Cena.
He comes back out. He basically tells everyone, listen, Undertaker hasn't got back to me. I haven't heard anything. He's a wimp.
Yeah, I mean,
he didn't really call him a wimp.
He didn't call him, but he might as well have.
Yeah,
and
he wasn't nice about it.
And then talk. You know, he might as well have talked about his mama at the same time.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
he really would have. I mean, just that disgraceful, self-centered
Yeah.
kind of thing that he goes after there, man. You know, John says, you know, if you don't answer me, that's fine, but just tell me no so I can go as a fan.
Right.
That's what I want to do. I just want to go as a fan then. And you know that's not going to happen. We're going to get an answer then because at that point in time, guess who shows up?
The Taker's brother.
Yeah.
Kane shows up, which, little side note, I knew was going to happen.
Oh, yeah?
Because I didn't get to go to the WWE Road to WrestleMania thing that they had this past weekend.
Yeah.
It wasn't a live show, but they did one here in Oklahoma City. I didn't get to go, but I saw people's pictures, and I saw Kane.
Oh.
So I was like, well, he's got to be.
Something's got to happen.
Yeah. Kane and John Cena are going to wrestle next week.
Next week on Raw, absolutely, yeah.
And what's the stakes there? Anything that they've said so far?
You know, I
it's
think
just
it's
in honor of Undertaker.
I think so. I mean, it's it's Kane coming to his brother's aid, the Brothers of Destruction, the run that they had together as Undertaker and Kane. It's kind of telling the whole story, because I really think we're getting to the end of of not only just the Undertaker, but Kane's reign in WWE in the 20 plus years that these guys have had, and Kane, who is actually Glenn Jacobs. That's his real name. Mm-hmm. He's actually running for mayor in Tennessee, I do believe it is.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, he's doing this real thing. He did. It was part of one of the podcast, one of the wrestlers' podcast, Jericho's, I do believe.
Oh, yeah.
He was on there, and he's running for mayor. And they say that he is actually backstage, kind of getting behind scenes a little bit, an off story here. He is like one of the smartest guys.
Oh.
And so if you watch wrestling and you think that he's just the demon Kane.
Yeah.
Well, he's actually a really smart guy. He does some really great stuff in his community. But besides that, he did chokeslam John Cena. So
yeah,
I don't know, that was a really great story. It really was.
You got to be smart with a face like Kane's. I know from personal experience.
Only a face a mother could love.
Yeah. All right, so that's going to bring us to number one.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh! Brock Lesnar's here. The Beast is here, and the situation is dire for Reigns. Roman Reigns is handcuffed. Roman Reigns is handcuffed. And Lesnar with a suplex to Reigns and now a chair. An assault to Roman Reigns, who is defenseless.
So, yeah, Brock Lesnar finally shows up on Raw after all these weeks.
Well, he does show up, but, he shows up in the cowardly fashion.
He does.
He does. I mean, Roman is handcuffed.
Yeah.
He's handcuffed, Brad, and let's go back a little bit. Who was Roman handcuffed by?
See, that was weird because he was handcuffed by quote-unquote U.S. Marshals.
Yeah, the Kurt Angle comes out to start Raw.
Right.
And he says, look, guys, Brock Lesnar's running late. Roman is suspended. He's not going to be here. So what does Roman do, man, in all his glory? He comes through the crowd, and he shows up and puts himself in the ring and says, I'm not going anywhere.
Right, which was cool. I mean, I dug that part of it.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
But then the U.S. Marshals show up.
Yeah, and that's when, and I was watching it with my wife. I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
I don't know that I didn't like that choice for the story because, especially down in Dallas, Texas, but anywhere, the assault on the police looked
not the most popular choice.
Yeah. It's just, if it had been the security guards,
we
wouldn't have blinked an eye because we've seen that before too. But just the choice for it to be on U.S. Marshals, and then of course there's no. Brock Lesnar comes in and does his thing, but there's no repercussions for beating up like 3 U.S. Marshals.
Yeah. Well, and then not only that, but beating up a defenseless guy in the ring that's handcuffed and can't do anything. And Brock goes chair shot after chair shot after chair shot, then suplex city, and really just decimates him. So he beats him down, he tears him down. Brock's music hits. Brock goes up the ramp with Paul Heyman holding the belt in all its glory and saying, "This is what this is it. This is the Beast incarnate. This is Brock Lesnar." And then what does he do? He comes back again, beats him up some more, goes back up the ramp, comes back and beats him up some more, pushes him off the gurney.
Yeah. So, it was just one of those weird – it was weird because they didn't really define who are we rooting for here.
Yeah.
Because you have Roman Reigns playing like a semi-heel and Brock Lesnar kind of as a heel, I think.
Yeah, well, we talked about it last week on the podcast, Brad, that this is WWE's way to get Roman over, to help him get over. Now he's over. Don't get me wrong. He's a stud, man.
Mm-hmm.
He is man. Roman Reigns.
But they want people
ring.
cheering him, not booing
They
him.
do. They want him to be the baby face of the company.
Right.
They want him to be that, and this is just their way of doing that, I think. And when you turn it massively, because Brock played the babyface a little bit while he was champion.
Yeah.
People cheered for Brock, and this is Roman facing against Brock, and Roman has done the massive shift. I'm chair shots. I'm getting you while you're down, handcuffed. You name it. Whatever the stakes are, I'm going to beat you up no matter what it is. And that's the heel side of Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
And he's going after Roman that way. And I think it's a great kind of turn. It's a great storyline. And not only that, but this week built a great – we talked about it last week too, the word anticipation.
Sure.
They're building that storyline really well. They really are, man. It's a cool story to watch.
It is. I might have done it differently with the marshals, and that would be the only thing I think I could criticize last night. So.
Yeah, that'd be the only takeaway. It really was. But as far as the carnage that Brock Lesnar put down, man, that's always fun to watch because he's just that good. He really is.
Well, we got to talk about, some of the other honorable mentions. Those are the top 3 mentions. But, we had Asuka beat Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
Which
was a good match. It really was.
Yeah.
They're going at it well.
And another big thing that happened, of course, was you had Bray Wyatt go to Matt Hardy's compound, which basically ended the show.
It did end the show.
And I'm not so sure. I've heard mixed reviews. I didn't get to see it live because what I was watching cut off. But I saw most of it. And what I personally thought was that it's a nice attempt to do something different, and I liked that part of it. Mm-hmm. But there was just a whole lot of hokiness,
When you do something, when you step out of the ring, let's just say it that way, okay? And you don't want to say think out the box, you don't want to say anything, but literally, they step out of the ring, they go to the compound, this is what Matt and Jeff did, when they were in TNA. Or Impact, whichever one it was, they were there and they were doing this storyline, and they had this big story at the compound of Matt Hardy, and Bray, he shows up, and not only he shows up, he walks up to the fence, and there's a drone. That is there meeting him.
Yes.
And so as you see that, but his wife is playing the piano. There's drones flying around.
I did kind of like his wife playing Bray's entrance music on the piano. But go ahead.
Well, this is the thing this is the weird thing to me. You have these drones. You have Bray Wyatt. You see this. They're trying to play it as this psychology, this mind control, this craziness that's going on. But out of nowhere, there's a WWE ref.
Sure, yeah. Do you ever watch like Lucha Underground or any of those things?
Yeah, some of those.
Don't they have like time traveling characters and different?
It's a whole different world there, man.
I like that though.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's cool. So, and it kind of from what I've heard about like Lucha Underground stuff like that, it reminded me of something like I guess an Impact.
Yeah.
Because all this I believe originated in Impact too.
These guys, they're taking the broken story from that previous company and putting it in as the Woken, Matt Hardy. And, we got a good surprise. So just the couple notes that I made because, some fireworks go off and they fight in the dilapidated city. And they ask him if it reminds him of anything. They run off to the land of the obsolete men where Bray is walking around in the grave of the obsolete men to the Dome of Deletion. I mean,
while he was in with all the graves, that part I thought was stupid too because it was showing like this corny. I'm looking behind these, and Matt's, over here, and it just started, they sped it all up. I didn't like that, but did you notice they were showing the house that Randy Orton his prayer room, I guess. Bray's prayer room. That was the flashback.
That was the flashback.
That's what they wanted him to remember was when Randy Orton burned down his little room before WrestleMania. So yeah, and then they get to the
finish. And,
well,
I mean, and we do see Jeff Hardy as well.
That interested me because he got in trouble again.
Well, he did get in trouble again, but we saw in one of the it wasn't with the rumor sheets. It's what was said that this was actually recorded before that. So before he got all that happen.
They left it in, of course, but do you think we're not going to see Jeff Hardy return?
No, I think we're going to.
You do?
I mean, it's unfortunate.
Maybe not for WrestleMania, but
and I don't think he's healthy either. I mean, he's still got the shoulder injury. He tore something up in his shoulder.
I thought I read that he was cleared, or maybe not.
Maybe not. I don't know if he's cleared yet or not. But when you get in trouble like that, WWE it's a big company.
Yeah.
So they take that kind of stuff
They
serious.
do take it serious. They have a pretty strict policy, which he's kind of said it's a little too strict. But, I mean, he got a DUI, so.
Yeah.
Or a DWI, I'm not sure which. But so ends up Matt Hardy.
They go into one of the warehouses, the barn, or so to speak, and Matt Hardy's talking about the mower of lawns versus the wheel of chairs.
Yeah.
And they fight out into this open land, and Matt hits. He hits his finisher. He pins Bray 1, 2, 3, and then Bray gets thrown into his lake, which is the lake of reincarnation.
Right.
That's a whole lot of stuff that we've talked about, Brad, for an honorable mention. I just want to say that.
Yeah, true. So he goes into the lake, and I guess Matt sends his helper guy in, right? And Bray's not there anymore.
He's gone.
So do you think that they are going to, since it's the lake of reincarnation, do you think Bray Wyatt may come back as like a different character?
Does he come back? And, we see this in professional wrestling or sports entertainment, however you want to say it, all the time, where factions start to join each other.
Exactly. Yeah.
He's in reincarnation. He's in Matt Hardy's.
So he's going to be a Woken Warrior.
Maybe he is.
That'd be kind of cool. I mean, I guess some of this whole thing there's a part of it I enjoy, and then part of it just makes me cringe.
Yeah. You're like, don't do that, man. Don't quit saying the mower of lawns. Quit saying that.
We mentioned Alexa Bliss and what happened. Ended up setting up a match with her and Nia at WrestleMania.
The cool thing real quick about that match is that Alexa and Asuka have this great match. They really do. Alexa shines, Asuka shines, and then the previous week on Raw, Alexa and Mickie James talk all this noise about Nia Jax and kind of fat shaming her a little bit, and how Alexa's using her, and all those things that go on there. We saw on the show, but Nia comes down and she's pissed. She's ready to fight. And the cool thing that I like to see that is sometimes the guy they run down and they're going to chase after the heel, and the heel just runs off and they just kind of watch. But Nia actually got her hands on her just a little bit, which was kind of cool. Pulled her hair, did a little bit, and Mickie James did get the brunt of the force. But, that's a cool storyline because Kurt Angle did give that match for Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax at WrestleMania for the title.
Which is great. I'm so looking forward to that. I think Nia's going to put the beat down on Alexa.
Well,
although I love Alexa.
Yeah,
she's my girl.
Whether she wins the title or not, Alexa is going to feel that
the
whole time.
Yeah. All right, well, I think it's time we talk about the house that AJ Styles built, SmackDown.
It's the top 3 SmackDown stories.
And SmackDown was huge this week.
Man, was it ever.
We could have kind of made one story into like 2 of our top 3, but we will combine it a little bit. So number 3, Jinder Mahal. He's out there talking his stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, rightly so, right?
Yeah, I mean, yes and no, because the knock on Jinder, of course, is that he's got to have his little stooge, He
does have to have a stooge.
And that's always part of the deal.
In the past few weeks, who has he pinned?
Yeah, both of those guys, Bobby Roode, Randy Orton. So, he has a legitimate case there.
Yeah, he does. He really does. And especially for when you pin both guys, he is a former WWE champion. Whether they think his reign was not as great as some others,
right,
or not, he still is a WWE champion, and he's pinned both of those guys. So he's out there, he's in the ring, he's saying, a man of my wealth, a man of my good looks, a man of my stature. I can do anything that I want. I choose to be here.
Yeah, I don't even have to be here.
Yeah. Well, Bobby Roode gets tired of it, and then you hear his music, that glorious music.
Yeah.
And, he's got one of the greatest entrances. He just does.
Oh, yeah, totally.
He comes down, gives Jinder the business, followed by, guess who? The champ, Randy Orton, the Viper. He comes down.
I like how Jinder Mahal is not dumb because he likes to stir it up and then exit the ring.
Yeah.
Because by the end of the match, you got Bobby Roode and or not. It wasn't really a match.
It wasn't a
but
match. Yeah.
By the end of that segment, Bobby Roode and Randy Orton are kind of standing there like,
Just
and they
sizing each other up.
tried their finishing moves on each other, and each of them was able to counter and avoid getting the what is Bobby Roode's? It's the glorious DDT, right, and then the RKO by Randy Orton.
So next week on SmackDown, we're going to see one of the Singh brothers and Jinder Mahal, and in a tag team match versus Randy Orton and Bobby Roode.
Which Jinder Mahal might as well just be fighting 1-on-2. I mean, that other dude,
he's a pretty small guy.
Yeah. He's always just getting ran over. So that's number 3, okay? Our number 2 moment, Charlotte Flair, she squared off with
Natty.
Natalia.
Yeah.
To me, though, I'm not sure what the implications were with that one. I mean, we've seen them fight before.
Oh, yeah.
And then this one was a pretty long match, it seemed like.
It was.
But you kind of talked about where you think this is all leading.
Yeah, I really think this is, we're going to WrestleMania, Brad. This is what we're doing. And we're telling these stories and we're building what's happening. And, Charlotte has had some struggles in the past few weeks.
Right.
I mean, Asuka comes out and challenges her face-to-face. And Natty approaches Charlotte and says, look, what's going on? Like, you think Asuka's your biggest challenge? I'm your biggest challenger. The only reason Asuka's undefeated is because I haven't fought her. I saw the fear in your eyes when Asuka challenged you face to face, and it's just building that story to WrestleMania, and it's kind of building, look, she has been the queen, and I said it on last week's podcast, I'll say it again, she is the gold standard for what the women's division is in WWE, so they're really building it as, whoa, man, her confidence is a little bit shaken here. She gets pinned by Natty this week, and Natalia this weekend. She, so where's her confidence? Where's her struggle? What's going on? How is she going to build this confidence? How's she going to gain any momentum whatsoever going into WrestleMania?
And, kind of tell us, for some people that might not be aware, most people probably are, but what's the difference between like a battle royale and the Royal Rumble, like what we just saw?
Well, there's not it's going to be the same premise, okay? So the winner of Charlotte Flair and Asuka, they're going to win the championship. Whoever wins that is going to be the women's championship at WrestleMania, okay? But in the other matches that we saw, like Becky Lynch and a lot of the other women involved, they're going to be a part of the first ever women's battle royal, okay? And so it's over-the-top battle, same kind of rules as Royal Rumble, but these women are going to do the very first one. There's going to be one for the men as well. You got Andre the Giant for the men. You got Fabulous Moolah for the women, and all these other women that are in the pool, they get to be a part of WrestleMania because they know that Asuka and Charlotte are going to be facing off for the women's title, and they know that once they get that, man, they've got an opportunity. They're going to have a leg up to be able to face that champion later on in the year. So it's a big, big deal. 2 separate matches, 2 separate storylines, but they all lead to one thing, which is the women's WWE Championship.
Now, with the Battle Royale, do they all start in the ring, or do they come out like in time segments like they do with
the Battle Royal? It's all together. It's just one. It's
so that's kind of the difference is that they all start at the same time.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely.
Okay.
Instead of 2 minutes apart, they're just in the ring all together.
Okay. Because like I say, it's been a while since I've seen the Battle Royal. Another thing, like honorable mention, we'll mention some of the things from SmackDown. Shinsuke, he beats Rusev. And I think that they're just trying to find a place to fit Rusev in now because he's so popular. And I like Rusev.
Oh, he's great.
Rusev is pretty popular, so I think they're trying to keep him.
They're trying to keep him hot,
top of mind, and
because one of the things that he keeps teasing on Twitter, Brad, is that he wants a celebrity to fight. And I want to go ahead and mention this because it's all WWE related. So Rusev comes out and says, hey, I need a celebrity to fight for WrestleMania. And The Rock retweets him and quotes him and says, why don't you get Kevin Hart? You're going to have to kayfabe his STD.
Oh, no. Oh.
Just a good joke between them. But, Rusev really is. He's looking for somebody. I think we're going to see that Rusev versus celebrity match.
Oh, that's cool.
And when you get to, WrestleMania, who always wins? The celebrity always wins it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Any celebrities that you might have in mind?
No, I don't. I mean, I really don't. I mean, these guys, they come out of the woodworks. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've seen Shaq, all the way back to like WrestleMania 3. We saw Muhammad Ali come in as a referee. I mean, you name it, you get all the spectrum for WrestleMania. You really do.
Luke Harper and Jimmy Uso, the Harper and Rowan, they just keep going through everyone. But the Usos have been able to give them a little bit of a fight. I like that. So I like to continue to see how that plays out.
Yeah, just to no avail. I mean, right now the Bludgeon Brothers are white hot. They really are. Mm-hmm. And it is what it is. We're going to see how this plays out because it's going to be New Day versus the Usos for the tag team championship at WrestleMania for the SmackDown one.
Right.
But do the Bludgeon Brothers do they sneak in because they put a lot of hurt on these guys.
I think that would make sense. And then we don't have like a sounder or anything for this, but I might make one up right here. This is the least honorable mention. P.U. The Baron Corbin and Ty Dillinger. And they messed up the finishing move. They had to do it twice.
And, I think these guys are just – it's a filler match. It's to put in some time. It's to try to get these guys over a little – it's their – well, let me say it this way. It's their opportunity to get over in the crowd because they're going to be in the men's battle royal. And
Ty Dillinger, he got screwed out of the Royal Rumble, if you remember, by Sami Zayn.
Yeah,
and but I feel like they're maybe trying to push Ty Dillinger a little bit, but I feel like Baron Corbin is just, I don't know, that match in particular seemed like maybe he's starting to go on that downhill slope. And we kind of mentioned the reasons why we aren't big fans of him last week.
Yeah, I was about to say, he's in a six-pack challenge for the WWE Championship, and this week he's facing Ty Dillinger. It's where are we going with Baron Corbin? I don't know, but we'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
All right, that brings us to number 1.
I don't know exactly when or where I will get back in this ring. Does that sound like a good idea? I don't know for sure if that's going to happen, but will Daniel Bryan compete in a WWE ring again?
Yes, man. All about Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's an amazing moment right there where Daniel Bryan comes back and talks about how we didn't play the whole clip where he talks about how all the people that have supported him, especially his wife, and he got all choked up a couple times. And now if you're a husband and you don't talk about your wife without getting choked up, they're going to be like, well, Daniel Bryan did. So thanks, Daniel Bryan. But he did say, right at the end of that clip, he didn't know when he was going to wrestle again, but he was going to wrestle again.
I think we found out.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
It was that night.
Yeah.
Did you expect it to be that soon that he would actually do some, return to some kind of action?
Well, you kind of saw it coming. I mean, I did anyway. Just you're watching him and you're watching his body language, and not only that, he's cleared. And WWE is not one for, especially when guys come back. I mean, welcome back. Here it is.
You're right.
And Daniel Bryan comes back, which is great. Let me just say that for a minute. He was so fun to watch for so long. Mm-hmm. He was in a WrestleMania where he had to fight twice in one night. He had to fight Dave Bautista and Randy Orton against all odds. He wins the title, right? And then the same night he has to fight Triple H, beats him and to win the title. And, man, it was just – he is that underdog that we love to fight for. He's a little guy that we love to fight for. The big yes movement. He has done so much for, man, sports entertainment, professional wrestling, the guy that we love to root for. And the fact that he's cleared now, it says a lot about where we are in, man, just even in medicine today, that people that say, man, you have concussions, you have this, you can't do anything anymore, you'll never be the same. Man, he took care of his body. He did the right things. Now he's back in the ring, and he's cleared, medically cleared. No exceptions, because we found out why, right? Is he clear? Because he got the crap beat out of him.
I mean, so what happens is and this was, I mean, like I say, this is a huge moment all of itself. He comes out, and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens come out, and they're like, we're so glad you're back.
Yeah, this
you're
is at
our
the end
boy.
of the show. Yeah.
This is great. Ha ha ha. What we did to Shane McMahon was kind of funny. He deserved it. And Daniel Bryan is like, you guys put me in a bad spot here.
Yeah.
And I don't even understand it, because here's the deal. You guys knew Shane McMahon was leaving. He was going to be gone. I was going to be running the show, and I would have had your back.
Yeah.
No. What you had to do was you had to go and let your egos get in the way, attack Shane McMahon, get your revenge. Now, dun dun dun, I got to fire you.
Yeah, see you later, guys. You got to go.
Which, did you expect that from Daniel Bryan?
No, I didn't expect that in the show. But as he started to talk to them, you could see it building. See it building, and then the crowd saying, you're fired, you're fired, you're fired. And, he says it, and he goes, guys, I'm really sorry. I hate to do this. And he tries to do it in this really heartfelt way, because he said, you guys are my guys. I like you. We came from the same place. We've been in this business 15 years together. But I'm sorry. You're fired.
Right.
And he extends his hand.
Yeah.
And he puts it out there, which is the moment he is about to get his ass beat.
Yeah. And Sami Zayn was like, this sucks, but I'll shake your hand.
Yeah.
And Kevin Owens, he becomes unhinged. He's screaming at him.
No, man.
Yeah. And that power bomb off the side of the apron, I was like, oh no. He Daniel Bryan comes back. Daniel Bryan's down again.
Yeah. I mean, it was that moment. He gets the power bomb on the side of the apron, and I literally said out loud, welcome back.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, so he must be doing pretty good that they let that happen on the first night. I mean, I guess he was like, hey, anything goes. Anything's on the menu.
So what do we see in that, though? So we have the big moment to open up the show. He has this heartfelt message. Thanks his wife. Thanks the fans. Thanks WWE and the doctors. And then they do what they do. They transition right back into the storyline. He's able to fire KO and Sami Zayn. And so what do we see, though? There's going to be repercussions. Shane McMahon does not let things go. He is a McMahon. Did I say the word McMahon?
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't let things go, okay? So he gets not only, he gets beat up. He gets, they put a chair on his throat. They shove him into the ring post. And then they powerbomb him onto a bunch of steps. I think we're going to see him again.
Yeah. I definitely think that we're going to see Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan team up against the guys that, I'm sure they're not fired.
Well, he even said, Daniel Bryan said when he fired, look, guys, basically get your stuff together.
Yeah.
And maybe you can come back.
Yeah.
Well, I think they may have got it together for them.
Yeah. It seems weird, though, like they're going to have to shoehorn them getting rehired back in right before WrestleMania,
Look, man.
But it's
the same writers that can push a guy into the leg.
Yeah. No doubt. But I like the story. And, again, I don't think anybody is mad that Daniel Bryan's back. So.
No, man. That's the biggest story. I mean, did we even see AJ Styles? We did at the side of the ring.
Right.
The Shinsuke and Rusev match.
Yeah.
But the storyline was so big that the biggest player in the game on, the house that AJ built didn't really have to be involved too much.
That's true.
Because that's a huge story, and I'm glad to see him back.
We'll talk a little bit about AJ Styles, too. So he came out to watch Shinsuke's match, and then after the match, Rusev and English start beating up on Shinsuke.
Yeah.
And AJ takes his time. He's
does.
going to go help him, but he takes his time. Well, by the time he is going to intervene, Shinsuke handles them himself.
He does.
The 2-on-1 attack. So, and then he gives them the smile. He gives AJ the smile like, I don't need your help. And basically afterward, backstage, that's what he tells him. I didn't need your help. So they're building a little bit more of that rivalry between them. And it's kind of a good one where, you're not hating either of them.
No, it's a lot of respect factor on both sides. But, we've still got some weeks before WrestleMania. These guys are going to get after each other. And they're going to build
if somebody were to turn to a heel, who would it be?
AJ's been the heel before.
Yeah.
He has been, and he played it pretty well. He did that as a champion, but he did it with, even with when he was at Raw with Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, and he played that heel well. He does it fairly well. Shinsuke, I don't know if he can pull off a heel unless he just doesn't talk whatsoever and does the dirty things to make it happen.
I could see Shinsuke maybe a little bit more than AJ at this point. But the good thing I think with AJ is babyface or heel, everybody's going to love him. I'm going to like him no matter what. So, so that's pretty much SmackDown in a nutshell.
There was one last thing, Brad. I got to say it.
Go ahead.
And we talked about the match earlier, and we kind of messed up. We didn't mention this. Carmella did try to cash in.
Oh, that's right. Carmella came. Okay, so, she comes out, and the match wasn't really over yet.
No, they're in the middle of the match.
Right.
Which is what they do when they cash in these Money in the Bank. But she brings down her briefcase.
Right.
Now, they're saying, the bell never rang for the next match.
Yes, they never rang the bell for her match. So when Natalya gets back in and
rolls up Charlotte,
that's the end of the match. And basically that was her, that's the end of Carmella's chance on that evening. But she's going to cash that in. I mean, it's been a couple times recently that she's got down there and was this close.
She's going to do it. I mean, that's what it's all about. She has a few more months before she has a 1-year contract.
Yeah.
1 year to cash in that Money in the Bank. It's going to happen. Does it happen to WrestleMania with her and Asuka? I mean, when does it happen? We don't know.
I think it happens at WrestleMania. Do you think that, and this is on a different thing, but we were talking about Asuka and Miz winning over – do you think that had to do with her streak? They didn't want to mess up her streak? Because I would have seen it as I wouldn't have seen that as messing up her undefeated streak.
No, it wouldn't mess up her undefeated streak by any stretch.
But they were kind of playing that whole deal at the beginning. Remember when Asuka and Miz were like, it's my streak. No, it's mine. So I didn't, but I wondered if that's why. Because I would have thought Strowman and Bliss would have won that whole deal. But that's, I'm digressing a little bit.
It's all good. But they, to tell you the truth, Brad, they've done a good job with those mixed match challenges on Facebook.
Awesome.
You can watch them on Facebook. You can go back and watch them. They're really, really
and
good.
on the network.
Yeah.
All right. It's time for another segment, too. This is our weekly Dirt Sheets.
Dirt Sheets and Rumors.
Oh, yeah, Dirt Sheets and Rumors. All right. And, Will, first of all, I want to ask you, kind of tell me some of the places that you get some of these Dirt Sheets and Rumors so that, some of our listeners, they might be able to kind of follow along with us.
Yeah, absolutely. These, we want to say this out loud, these are simply rumors. These are things that come out during the week that, that we can have a lot of fun with as fans. We really can. There's going to be rumors all the way from WWE, all the way down to Ring of Honor, Impact, in any indie wrestling. There's rumors about these guys and what happens. And so here over time, man, we're going to talk about these and we're going to try to let you know exactly where you find them. But, Dave Meltzer, he's a guy that you can find on Twitter. You can go to this. He has a podcast.
Right.
Wade Keller is another guy who is Pro Wrestling Torch. And, man, these guys are really good. They put out a lot of great stuff. Man, a lot of they have inside guys, man. They really do.
Yeah.
WWE is a tight-lipped company, but they have guys on the inside. Some of these we'll try to mention exactly who they came from. And but this, I wanted to mention this one first because it's not really a dirt sheet or a rumor, but 16 years ago this past Sunday, we saw a great match. Great match. And it was Icon versus Icon, which was Hulk Hogan versus The Rock.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, that was such an incredible match at WrestleMania. You had the crowd divided. Let's go Rocky, let's go Hogan. And the crowd was just going nuts. This was really where Hogan really, he was on his way out. He was done. And I think we'll see him again in WWE before it's all said and done, but not in a wrestling sense.
Yeah.
And he was passing the torch to Rock.
And it's a real shame with what's happened with Hulk Hogan. And, he's done it to himself, of course. But he's shamed himself so that they've you would love to see Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania and these things, but I don't think it'll be anytime soon.
Well, I mean, time does heal wounds, and the minute that you hear that guy's music at a WrestleMania or a big event, you kind of forget some of those things, and that's okay. But, this was Rock versus Hogan. It was 67,000 plus fans at the Sky Dome in Toronto, and it was Icon versus Icon. And this is just, man, one of the greatest matches. I don't want to say like a greatest match as far as like, man, the greatest show that they put on, but it really was a great match as far as like just the aura of what it was, man.
Can you believe in the time since The Rock and Hogan had a match, some kid was born and is now driving? That's just cray-cray. All right. Also, I've heard this a little bit. I think it's something that you've been watching, kind of keeping up with, but Roman Reigns.
Yeah, this was reported by WrestlingRumors.net, and I'm sure there was a few others that put this, but this is just where I found it.
So that's one of the places that you kind of go to.
Yeah, that was just one of the places that I saw.
Okay.
And it just said, the headline was this: new bold claims about Roman Reigns steroid allegations. No evidence provided. So, Brad, I'm a baseball fan too, just to talk about this really quick, okay? Back in the day when Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa were hitting bombs, and Jason Giambi, Barry Bonds. These guys are hitting bombs out of the park, and Barry Bonds breaks the all-time home run record. And then, all these rumors started swirling about steroids, okay? Now, one of the things that I don't know this to be true about Roman Reigns or any of the other wrestlers, okay? Now, WWE and even Vince McMahon and all these guys have a history about steroids.
Right.
That it's there. And if these guys, man, they need to look the part.
Well, and at one time it was kind of like everybody knew it was going on, but it wasn't illegal, right? I mean, it wasn't.
I mean, it's illegal, but it wasn't.
I mean, at one point, though, I think it was under the radar, wasn't it? Where everybody was kind of doing it, but they didn't.
It just wasn't banned by the company.
Right.
They weren't doing.
Oh, it was illegal,
tests.
but it wasn't banned by the company.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And steroids, no matter how you do them, are legal, and that's what it is. But these guys, man, they have to look the part. They have to maintain what they look like, and that's a tough job.
Yeah,
man. It really is.
Yeah.
And so, I mean,
and their schedule. People don't understand is that.
Their travel schedule.
Yeah, they think that, you might just say, okay, I see them Monday and Tuesday and then maybe on a Sunday when they're on the pay-per-view. No, they're doing all these house shows and stuff in between.
Yeah. They get a little bit of time off. I think they get 1 or 2 days off a week, and that's all they get. And so they may get 1 or 2 days off a week, but they have a show in Nashville, and then they have to be in Portland. And that's a big jump for these guys. So I don't know. All I can say is, sometimes, just like when I watched in baseball,
right,
where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yes.
And WWE is now a publicly traded company, and they have drug tests just like all big companies do. And Roman has been suspended before. Nobody really knew why. They didn't put it out there, why he got suspended for 10 days or 2 weeks or whatever it was, or 30 days, whatever it was. But where there's smoke, there's fire sometimes. And just for Roman Reigns' sake, not that I don't have any – I have no judgment whatsoever. The guy does what he wants when he wants. But this is a story that just keeps coming up, Brad.
Yeah, to me, Roman – he doesn't – to me, he doesn't look like your typical steroided out guy. I mean, he's big.
Yeah.
Jinder Mahal, to me, looks like –
well, he's part of that ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's part of this ring.
That's the thing is because you see some of the telltale signs with him, with Jinder. And of course, Roman wears the vest and stuff too, so it might be hard to – it might be covering up his back knee or something. I don't know.
Who knows?
But, you do see some of those signs with Jinder, but then surely they've tested him. They've looked at him and said, all right, you failed the eye test.
Yeah.
Because you look like, in the time that you left and came back – that you did something.
Yeah.
And like I say, I'd be sad for Jinder if I'm sitting here kind of putting that out there and he really just worked his ass off, because that's possible too. But people have kind of pointed out some of the signs that he may have been using some kind of steroids.
And we don't want to take away from the fact that these guys are working out, and they're working out hard.
Yeah.
They're traveling hard. They're doing everything. You know, at the end of the day, it's their body, it's their thing, and neither one of us have any judgment on what these guys want to do or don't want to do. I mean, these are just the rumors that are out there.
Right.
And it's one that just kind of keeps circulating, unfortunately. And, you know, over a period of time, that can kind of put a dark cloud over certain people. But at the end of the day, man, wish the best for all of them. They're entertaining as hell.
Yeah.
They really are. Just one of these rumors that keep flying around.
I want Roman to be healthy and have a long career.
Yeah.
Because you've seen, what was that guy's name that he was kind of the first guy to die. Like, he was a celebrity. Lyle, oh man, it's like Mazzota or Azota or.
Yeah.
But remember, he was a wrestler at one time in movies. And that's why you don't want these guys. You know, sure, it's your body, and I want them to be able to build themselves up and be competitive. But I really, for their overall health, you don't want them to go down that road and end up like that. You know, some of those guys.
Well, and at the end of it, if it does something that pops positive, you know, it's us as fans that miss out. Okay?
Yeah, sure.
Because if they pop positive, they're going to say, well, you're suspended. And that's the end of it. And then all of a sudden, this great storyline, whatever storyline we're building, could you imagine, Brad?
Oh,
just to
don't
finish
even
this
say
off.
it. Don't even
Just
say
to-
it.
yeah,
Don't
just
even
to finish
say
this
it,
off.
Will.
What if it got messed up?
Oh, you just powerbombed me.
And I mean, I don't want to, you know, and I don't want to say it out loud. I want to end it with that because, man, I would be crushed as a fan if all of a sudden you get a tweet, boom, so-and-so is now suspended for 30 days.
Yeah,
man.
no Roman at WrestleMania against Brock. You just gave me the DDT. I'm done. Will the gingerbread man Garrison. I just came up with that on the way here.
There you go.
I came up with your new wrestling name.
Thanks, man.
Because, you know, you got that red complexion there.
Is it because I'm
red
stiff,
hair.
too? Is it I'm
like
a stiff
the
guy?
gingerbread man? I don't know. We're not going to talk about your stiffies. This is a semi-family show. Get it? Semi?
Semi.
Oh, terrible. And this isn't really dirt sheet material, but we did kind of want to end with this tonight. Inductee class to the Hall of Fame.
Man, absolutely. Not a dirt sheet at all. This is a big-time thing that WWE has turned in from the Hall of Fame to just some, you know, something that they talk about to now the Friday night before WrestleMania is a show. It is the WWE Hall of Fame, and we have seen all the competitors go in. But this year, man, we have the list of Goldberg.
Goldberg is a great
He's the
addition.
headliner,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Who was just recently, the last one that was announced? Was that Mark Henry?
That's Mark Henry, which is my favorite of the inductees, man, because this guy came in as Mr. Olympia.
Yeah.
He's the strongest man in the world.
Right.
And then he transformed, man. His personality really started to kick in, and he was sexual chocolate.
That's right. Sexual
Mark
chocolate.
Henry, man, he was so good. Why'd you say like that?
Yeah. I like chocolate.
But, man, Mark Henry's a big one. You get Hillbilly Jim.
Hillbilly Jim.
Yeah, he's way back in the day, man.
Yeah, that was back in the Hulk Hogan and all those days. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you get the Dudley Boys.
Dudley Boys are great.
Yeah.
I love the Dudley
Get
Boys.
the tables.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're you know, is it going to be all three Dudleys?
No, it's just going to be Dion and Bubba Ray.
Who was the third Dudley?
Well, there was many of them.
Was there?
Yeah, but
I remember
but Spike Dudley was the one.
He's not going to make it.
I don't think he's going to make it.
Poor Spike Dudley.
You know what? I think they did the vote, and he just came up just short, man. But, you know, did you hear who's going to induct them into the Hall of Fame?
No, who?
It's going to be Edge and Christian.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a good.
Man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it really is.
Ivory.
Yeah. She was a huge part of where women's wrestling was, of bra and panties matches, and just it was almost an insult at certain times to this chick was awesome, man.
Yeah.
She could wrestle. She was built. She, you know, I wouldn't want to take a punch from her. She was actually part of Glow way back in the day. The Gorgeous
Really?
Ladies of Wrestling.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she was part of it, Brad. And she has been a big part of sports entertainment and pro wrestling for a long time. She was a women's champion, and now she's going to be inducted. I think that's great.
Jeff Jarrett.
Jeff Jarrett, man.
I haven't seen him in a while. What's he doing?
He ran his own company. He ran TNA for a long time.
Right.
And
is he still doing anything on TV or anything now?
No, I think he's he may be behind the scenes at a few things. I'm sure that guys like that always have their fingers into something. But, he came in, with his mentality that nobody was better than him, and he had his cowboy persona, and man, he even had that song that he wrote that was pretty silly and kind of crazy, but he's going to be inducted. It's good to see some of these guys come in.
Wasn't he in WCW at one point too?
Absolutely. Yeah,
because I think I remember him and Diamond Dallas Page having some.
He's had a great career.
Yeah. Jeff Jarrett, is he going to hit anybody with the guitar at the Hall of Fame?
I don't know. It just depends on who inducts him.
That'd be awesome. I want to see him hit somebody with a guitar. All right, and then there's a couple of non-wrestlers. The winner of the Warrior Award, Jarius J.J. Jackson, which, how old is he? He's like 13, 14, I think.
Yeah, he's somewhere around.
But he looks a lot younger.
Yeah.
I've seen him in stuff before, too. Like, I don't know if he's done commercials or.
Well, he's part of ESPN. He was huge for a while. And really, the Warrior Award is simply for the guys that show that heart, that courage, to defy what life has given them.
Right.
And he's done that in his life. So this is
because I can't remember what disease or what his affliction is. But I'm pretty sure that what they were saying was, they didn't even expect that he'd be doing as much as he's done.
Yeah.
So that's wonderful. For a kid like that, that's got to be the biggest thrill in your life to be inducted in the Hall of Fame. The WWE Hall of Fame. That's cool. And then my name is Kid. Rock. Kid Rock. Which, when I heard Kid Rock, I thought, oh, that's weird. But then I remembered, like Kid Rock's songs that I think Kid Rock and Limp Bizkit, right? That Undertaker would come out to. And do you play any of the video games? Have you had, like, even the last 2K18 or anything?
I do have it.
I have it. Yeah. I have it too. Ooh, we should play. Oh, you have the Xbox, don't you?
No, I have PlayStation.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, we should play online. But yeah, there's Kid Rock songs on there, and he's doing the WrestleMania song. So he's contributed a lot over the years, and so it makes sense that plus WWE fans, there's a lot of Kid Rock fans that.
I would imagine there's a few. Yeah. But, he was a big part. He played those, like you said, not to redo what you said, but he was a big part, man. And these celebrities, like, Snoop Dogg has been inducted in the past, and a lot of these different celebrities, they think about them as, well, why are they part of this? What are they? Man, they're a big part of what's happening. You know what I mean? I said it earlier in the podcast. Could you imagine what WrestleMania 3 would have been like way back in the day without Muhammad Ali coming out and being the show that he was, man, the spectacle that he was? And those guys draw attention. They really do. And it's just cool to see him be a part of that. And, I guess the most interesting thing, Brad, was what is he going to say in his speech?
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a good time. I'm just trying to figure out, if he'll be back there smoking it up and having a good Kid Rock time,
he's going to do what he does, man.
Maybe get Vince McMahon a little togi toke.
I don't know. I don't know. I ain't going to say it. I ain't going to talk bad of the boss.
Vince wants to.
He can do whatever he wants to do.
He can do it, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the show for this week. It was a lot of fun talking about everything from Raw, SmackDown, all the, the dirt sheet stuff. So we'll continue to do that each week. And, we have a few other things that we kind of have planned to do, too. Follow along. We're on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
We'll have a Facebook page probably by the end of this weekend, pretty soon. And also, before we go, I just wanted to say some of the other podcasts that maybe people should check out that we listen to. I want to suggest the Jim Cornette Experience. If you're not listening to it, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Don't listen in front of your kids. But I love listening to him cuss. It's one of my favorite things. And of course, I listen to Chris Jericho's Talk is Jericho. Any ones that you want to throw out there?
Stone Cold Steve Austin's got a great one. Dave Meltzer and Wade Keller. And then who's my favorite right now? And I just like listening to the guy. He's got a great setup of Sam Roberts. But, man, this is the Oh Yeah Wrestling Podcast.
Yes.
I don't want to forget that.
Don't let anyone forget.
No, we are on we're on your iTunes. We're everywhere.
Yes, that's
Man, be
true.
sure to share us and like us and share us with everybody that you know, because we want to make this thing, because at the end of the day, we're WWE fans, we're wrestling fans. We're here for one reason, and that's to give our opinions and hopefully entertain you.
Yeah. Well, until next week, that's Will Garrison. I'm Brad Reed. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, have a good week.